Hey, sugar. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. That hurts. I'll just say it over here. It's fine. You try it.
Nah. Okay, out of the two of us.
We are on Tea Time with Chelsea today. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most embarrassing stories that happened to us when we were both 19. We grew up very poor, and Chelsea's very first job. What was your first job?
Pretty much. I worked at Walgreens, and then I got a job as a waitress at an Indian restaurant. It's a little bit of a shock. I actually worked there for many years, so waiting tables. We had just turned 19. Alexis didn't have a car yet, but I had saved up $1,000 and bought myself a beauty. Do you know what you can get for $1,000 that drives? So I got a Saturn SL1. I believe it was in 1991, and just for reference, I was born in 93, so quite the difference. But she ran. She had no heat, she had no AC, she didn't have a fuel gauge that worked either, due to the fact that the fuel gauge didn't work and the fact that we were low of funds. Occasionally we would run out of gas on the side of the road, and this was the first time that happened to us. Basically, we ran out of gas on the side of the road, and it was
a hot day. It was the middle of July, I think.
It was July or August. It was
had been like
so
90
hot.
degrees.
Yeah, and I had to wear all black to wait these tables. Oh, and I should mention, because everybody's probably like, why are you going to work at this restaurant with Alexis? Well, I got free food when I worked at the restaurant. They were kind enough to feed me, and they were used to me bringing Alexis, so she would come to be I
was the scrub.
The scrub.
I would go with her and sit during a full shift just to get free food. When I wasn't working, I was like, well,
yep,
I'm coming to get my free food.
And so she would come, she would hang out for the get her free Indian food. So we're on the way, and we run out of gas. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to call my boss. So there was a little bit of like a language barrier for a few words, and we had a really hard time explaining like where we broke down. So a long time passes, we're sweating our mascara off out here in like the 100-degree weather. No one stopped to help us.
Yeah, nobody.
He finally finds us and drives us to the gas station, and we buy a gas can.
You buy a gas can and then like $5 worth of gas, because she only had $25. So she spends.
And she had no dollars.
I didn't. I had nothing. I had nothing to contribute. I had like 19 cents to my name. It wasn't. She spent $20 on the gas can and then $5 in gas, which was just enough to get us to work. And then when she made more money at work, then she was going to go back to the gas station and buy more gas to get us home.
Right.
That was the whole game plan.
Alexis had never like mowed grass growing up, and I had mowed grass, but my dad had always filled up the can. So the gas can just lived in the garage. So this was our extent with the gas can. Buy a little itty bitty gas can.
And so then her boss drives us back.
Yeah, so
to the car.
we put the gas in, and he drove us back.
He drove us back to the car,
Yeah.
and then he leaves us.
Yeah, he just is like, all right, bye, and he's gone. And so he's like, I'll see you when you get to work. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like looking in my truck, and I'm like, I don't have a funnel. And I know my scrub doesn't have a funnel, so what am I gonna do?
You're like, how do we put the gas
I'm
in
like,
the car?
how do I get the gas in the gas thing? And
I'm trying to pour the gas into the hole.
and I've got my
And
hands.
Chelsea has her hands underneath catching the dripping gas, okay?
It's just the can, and it's just
But
poured.
there's not that part.
Like a teapot missing the spout, so it's just gushing all over the car.
Yeah, Chelsea's just catching it with her hands.
So we finally give in, and I'm like, all right, as embarrassing as this is, we got to call my dad. So we call my dad, and we're trying to tell him, and as soon as I call and I explain what's happening, and I'm like, Dad, I don't know what to do. Like, what can you bring me a funnel? Like, the gas is just getting all over the car. And you can hear him.
Yeah,
just.
Oh, I heard him laughing real loud.
Just cackling. Like, you can hear tears. Like,
I'll never forget his laugh.
we could be saving someone from the fate that befell us that day. So, if you've never bought a gas can, the little red can, the yellow spout part that we keep talking about, it's inside the can. It's inside. So you're supposed to, when you buy the gas, you're supposed to take that out first, put the gas in, and screw it on, but I didn't know to look for anything inside. Finally, we got it together, made it to work, and we went on to have many, many more adventures in that car. So,
Saturn.
yep, in the Saturn.